Everybody, welcome back to the podcast. This is your girl, Britt, and this is Thanks, But No One Asked You, a podcast where storytelling meets unsolicited advice. And now we are following up our live episode with one of our guests, Jilea Hemmings, the co-founder of Nourish and Bloom. Give it up. Woo! Hello, everybody. All right, bet. So we're going to do hot seat questions. We're not even going to introduce you. We just, we come right after you. All right. Overrated, underrated, Trader Joe's. Ooh, highs.
Okay. I have it's a two-part. I would used to say underrated. However, I feel like there's some hidden stuff in there that you gotta be careful of. I feel like be careful of. I feel like everyone just feels because it's Trader Joe's, it's great and good, and I was caught up in the hype. So I say I was that was the only place I shopped. I was like in love.
I'm going there today.
Right. However, when you look on the back of the label, there are a lot of ingredients you can't read.
Oh.
And we just assume that it's like better for you because it just feels better for you when you walk in the store. Like Whole Foods feels better for you, but you feel like you can't afford it.
Yeah.
Or Trader Joe's feels like, oh, it's better for you and I can afford it.
Yeah.
But it's not as better for you as we think.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think Trader Joe's is better for me at all. I just feel like Trader Joe's has things that I can't find anywhere else.
Facts. I mean, and their food is good. I mean, like it tastes good and it's easy and no time. So
Although no, I will say the heat up type food. I don't eat that stuff. The little like curry bowls and the enchiladas. I can't.
You don't do any of that.
I don't know. I gotta eat fresh food. But they have like things like, was it almond butter covered almonds?
Okay.
Have you had these?
No.
Yeah, go into a little freezer section at the top, where they got little joints, this little bag.
Their sublime ice cream sandwiches are amazing. I mean, obviously, like the orange chicken. But see, I buy it for my kids because I'm like, I have no time to cook.
I feel you.
So I was like, that was like my jam. And then I started reading the back of the label. I was like,
yeah, you can't really eat processed food. I mean, I feel like I've watched a lot of just documentaries, and I do the Whole30 every January. Have you done this?
My best friend did.
Okay, listen, January, we could do this together.
I'm here for it.
Listen, because you need a partner. You need a partner to do it.
Okay.
It's hard. It's hard.
It's very hard. I know, because we were like,
and you got kids too.
But they're all into this fitness thing right now. So
okay, January. So anyway, January, I do the Whole30, and if you don't know what the Whole30 is, it's you take 30 days, and the lady who created it, she's a badass. Like she says what I want to say, which is, if you take a spoonful of sugar one day in a coffee, start over. Just start over. There's no off days on the Whole30. You have to completely restrict yourself of all these things, and it takes away inflammation. Your skin clears up. You sleep better. Everything is so much better that over time you start eliminating things from your diet, and you just don't want to eat processed food.
The withdrawal, though. Let's talk about the withdrawal.
Ooh, yeah. I don't like
how do you cope with the withdrawal?
You know what? That's why you need a friend. That's why you need a friend, because you can be miserable together. Because only they understand what's going on with you. Like, yeah, I would say about week 3, I was ready to kill some people.
Okay.
And I was in business school the first time I did it. Nah, I wasn't having it. But it's good, because once you're done, you feel amazing.
So what was your first meal after Whole30?
Woo! I remember I went to a yoga retreat and did Whole30 and finished my Whole30 there. And then I was in Jamaica. So, I mean, I ate jerk chicken straight from the grill, right from the people in the streets.
That's like real good chicken.
Yeah.
That doesn't count.
Tore my stomach up.
It did?
Tore my stomach up. It was just a lot of seasonings and just stuff that I hadn't had in my body. That's part of what it is too. As soon as you put anything back in, your body's going to respond. But that's why Whole30 is amazing, because once you put it back in and your body responds, that's a sign that you can't have that thing. So dairy. So I got a colonoscopy. Let me stop, because I'm gonna go on. This is too much of us.
I'm here for that. I'm scared to do it, but I got to do it.
I got a colonoscopy because I thought I had Crohn's disease, because my stomach was hurting so bad, and it turned out it was just dairy. Like I can't have dairy anymore. So when I did the Whole30, of course you eliminate it. I had a piece of cheese like 2 weeks later after I was done. Yeah, it was cheese. It was dairy. Like, you learn what your body does and does not like.
I'm here for it. And we're allergic to a lot of things, and we eat things that we're allergic to, and that's why we have a lot of problems. I'm allergic to chicken. This is why I look like this. I know. What's the problem?
That feels strange. There's so many things I could say.
It's a problem.
I mean, you know what? I'm gonna leave it alone. Although, um, what did you want to be when you grew up?
What did I want to be? Initially, I wanted to be a singer. Okay, can you sing? Sort of. A little bit. A little bit. But in the shower, I don't do it in public. I try. But I come from a family of singers. So I initially wanted to be
Oh.
like, I thought I could be like Whitney Houston or something.
Who sang in your family?
So my dad's a singer. My sister's a singer. Her son is a singer. He's like a classically trained opera singer.
What?
Like insane.
Where can we find them?
You could find his name is Mateo. He is incredible, trust me.
Oh my God.
So you just go to Mateo.com. It's like he's incredible.
Mateo.com.
Mateo, yeah. So Mateo Adams is his full name, but if you find him on YouTube, but he's a light tenor. So he's a Pavarotti. Like insane.
Whoa.
And I didn't know my father actually sang opera until he passed away and I saw his high school picture and he was like in the opera. I was like, what? Like he was
You didn't know.
I didn't know. I mean, he could always sing. I didn't know he sang opera because we were like we were like, how did you get this talent? Like my nephew, we were like, where did this come from?
Yeah.
Because I mean, you're singers, but I mean, he's on a whole nother level.
Wow. And so, all right, go sing happy birthday for us. A little tremor. Are you one of those like, ooh? Are you one of those?
No, I have to think about it. Like my daughter can really sing well too, and she doesn't sing in front of me, but she's like effortless. Like I have to.
Oh, wow.
I mean, that's why I'm not a singer, but that's what
That would be amazing. A little side skill.
I know.
I would love to just sing in like cafes. All right. Um, so you had a Jay-Z song when you came out.
I did.
Please tell us the song and why you chose it. This is not the hot seat question, but I want to know what the song was and why you chose it.
It's legacy because I feel like, especially for Black people, a lot of times we don't have families that leave us or start us off with, a foundation, right? We're always starting from scratch. And I feel that the more you know, the better you must do. And so, he talks a lot about it in the song, like how are we leaving legacy? Like, what are you investing in? Like those different types of things. And so for me, that's what drives me every day is that when it gets hard, it's like, I'm not doing this for me. It's not about me. It's about my kids and their kids. And how can we make sure that they're in a better position than how we started?
That's deep. I didn't know that. All right. I was just like, all right, Jay-Z, cool.
Yeah.
Dope. Okay, but the hot seat question is, what is the best Jay-Z song of all time? Let's say it at the same time, because I have a best Jay-Z song of all time.
Of all time.
Well, I have my favorite Jay-Z song. People are like, you don't listen to Jay-Z. Already now people are thinking right now.
I'm like, the best Jay-Z of all time. Okay.
Make it stop. Sorry, does this matter? It's just sliding down, and I don't know if it matters. I think it just needs to be tightened. Okay. Perfect. Thank you. All right. Are you ready with the song?
Ready. Okay.
I'm gonna say 3, 2, 1, and we're gonna say the best Jay-Z song of all time. 3, 2, 1. Song Cry. What? What did you say?
I don't know the word. I don't know the title of the song. I didn't know I just know the word.
You said
no. What? I know. What's the song? Okay, you know what? I take it back. I still think Legacy is like one of his best songs.
All right, well, you messed up the 1, 2, 3.
I know. Okay, let's do it again.
So wait, what? Hustler?
Yeah, isn't that his song I was thinking about? I was like, what is one of his songs?
I'm a hustler? That one? Is that one? Is that it? That's a remix.
No.
Song Cry.
No, Hard Knock Life, I think is probably one of
Oh, okay. Hard Not Life. Okay. I was in middle school when that came out.
I don't know how old it was.
I like Song Cry a lot. I'm just gonna put it. Song Cry. Great. All right. He has a lot of great songs. All right. Last hot seat question. And 30 seconds or less. Sell me on a show that you are watching today.
Okay. I mean, I'm a reality TV junkie, so I start there. Okay. And I personally feel that when you have a crazy life and you're intense, that what you want to do is decompress from your life. And so for me, decompression is reality TV. I like to jump into other people's worlds and see the crazy and get out of my head. So my favorite show is the Real Housewives series. I won't say which one, but I'm more like in Atlanta, Potomac. You get the drift. And so I just like to watch and laugh and decompress. I know. I mean, it's my way. It's my trash. It's my thing.
I shouldn't be judging. I should just,
And I do like Married to Medicine too. Those are like my
okay. All right. Women.
women.
You know,
I
I'm gonna leave that
know
alone.
it's
I'm
still
gonna leave it alone.
scripted, but it's like,
Is it?
of course.
Oh, that sucks.
I mean, it's reality-ish.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you got to create plot lines because otherwise,
Sure, it's interesting and
yeah, you got to create drama. That sucks. Well, great. I love that. People love the Housewives. They are a huge franchise. So shout out to them. And Nene Leakes this new face, but we weren't allowed to talk about that on the show.
that's a little different. She is the GOAT though. I mean, she started.
Right.
She gave everybody else the ability.
She did. She did. She started something dope. That's really cool. All right. Let's get into the questions.
Sure.
What is Nourish and Bloom and why do we need it?
Nourish and Bloom is pretty much your way of getting access to fresh food 24/7. And so why do you need it? Because we all need to eat. I mean, honestly, but I think what it really is just showing how you can get access to fresh food in the most innovative way, right? And so we use AI to make sure you never have to wait in line, things nobody likes to do. Did you know we spend 3 hours a week in line?
And what lines? All
Just all lines. The average consumer spends 3 hours a week just waiting in line.
Dang.
That's a lot of
Even with online shopping?
even with online shopping, because you still have to go and get your groceries or whatever it is, or you ran out of something and you got to go grab it.
Wow.
3 hours.
Can you imagine what it was before the internet?
It probably would be like 10 hours. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Wow. Okay.
And I hate things that are inconvenient. Like that's like wasting time for me is one of my biggest pet peeves. And I hate waiting in line. Like, I'm one of those people looking like, what you got? I'm trying to analyze. It's a whole process for me. Like, it's not enjoyable. Like, I mean, we got to eat. You got to go to the grocery store, but it's not my thing. It's not like, oh, I can't wait to get there. Maybe some people feel like they want to be
I
there.
enjoy being in the grocery store.
You do?
But like at Trader Joe's or Sprouts.
Okay. I mean, I like to just get in, get what I need, and get out.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
this is all about me. Nourish and Bloom was because of me. Okay. I was because of my
That's awesome though.
impatience with lines, and I just knew that there was a better way.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to get in and out of Aldi. Something about Aldi, man. I just feel like the light's
Listen,
about to go out or
So
something.
even though Trader Joe's and Aldi are owned by I don't like Aldi.
What?
I don't like it. I don't like
Owned by the same?
Yeah, but I don't like the experience. It doesn't feel Trader Joe's like to me. It feels
I don't even think that's what they're going for. Lidl then took after them, or Lidl was first. I don't know who was first,
Yeah.
but both those spaces, I'm like, man, I'm trying to get in and
it's a
out.
quarter for me. You pissed me off with the quarter. Like, so I have to put a quarter in to get a cart to get. I mean,
I don't know the last time I saw a quarter.
exactly. I'm like, who's carrying change? Like how are we doing this?
The old ladies. All the old ladies in there have a cart. I'm in there with like 3 bags trying to like make
I
it
don't
work.
understand. I don't know, but
Or I'm
something
just
about it, I don't like the way it feels. It feels like you didn't care about me enough.
Yeah, it feels like you gotta get out.
Yeah,
Like
quickly.
And the way they check you out, right? They'd be like, thank you. They just sweep it into the basket. And I'm like, is the basket for me? Am I supposed to take? There's a whole process. Like if you've never been to Aldi, for those of you who are rich and you've never been to Aldi, just take a day, be poor for like 2 minutes.
Make sure you have a quarter. Make sure you have a quarter.
Go into Aldi and experience the checkout line. Experience the checkout line. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Okay, we talked about AI, and I actually didn't have this question down, but we were joking about this. You have a stance on AI and I don't know if it's Black people or people in general, our hesitance to AI. And I know we spoke about you coming to the Northwest Business Association in Atlanta and coming to talk to business owners, small business owners, legacy residents about like, hey, here's how you tap into AI, here's how you need it. You know, what are you seeing right now as far as resistance to AI and your store, if any?
I mean, I'm seeing a lot, actually. I mean, because I see a lot of excitement. I see a lot of resistance. Like just yesterday, I was there. This customer comes in, and I'm explaining to her how the store works, and she's like, "Oh no, this is freaking me out." And I was like, "What's freaking you out?" and I know I'm probably not supposed to do that, right? I'm supposed to let the woman go, but I just couldn't. I'm like, "What is freaking you out?" I just don't like all of this. I don't like. I said, "Do you have a cell phone?"
Yes,
Right?
you got start connecting the dots.
And I'm like, if you have a cell phone, this shouldn't scare you because you were walking around with a handheld surveillance item in your being every day.
Yeah. So actually this kind of conversation came up with Bam because he's doing Culture Wireless and he's, people are questioning, oh, is your service going to work? We make fun of people who have Boost Mobile, but Boost Mobile, just like Culture Wireless will be, just taps into the towers of Verizon and T-Mobile that already exist. Like it's so my fear for y'all is there's two things that are going on. Yes, you're coming in as a new player, but also you have to educate people at the same time. So, is your business model set up to educate people? Have you considered that? Like, where does the education piece come in to get people to come into the store?
That's a good question. And yes, we're putting a lot of effort into education. But it's hard because logically, you're like, okay, I'm going to put up a sign that tells you how to shop in our store so you know how to do so.
Are you want people to read? You want people to
They
read?
don't read. Reading is a dying art. People don't watch videos. They just come in and they're like, I know what I know and I'm doing what I know. And it doesn't matter whether you have a million signs that say this is not what you know, right? Like people come up to our turnstile and bam, walk right into it. And then like they'll step back and be like, no, it's supposed to work. And they walk right into it again. And I'm like, it says here on the turnstile, if you stand back to read. So that has been really like, how do we make education cool? Because they're not going to read, they're not going to watch videos. So now we're starting to get into how do we use AI and avatars? Like, because people are intrigued by that when they see they're like, is it real? Is they going to answer my questions properly?
Yeah.
So they'll test it out. But we're trying to come up with different ways on how we educate, and it's still hand over hand because it is a new way of shopping.
Yeah.
We are like, how long did it take people to feel comfortable with self checkout? Right? There's still people
There's still people that don't
going
do
in
it
line.
right.
Like, what are you going in that line for? When
Where are you in self checkout? You don't know what's going on.
Exactly, and then and they're holding up the line, and the red light is on. It's a whole thing. So, for us, we are constantly working on how do we educate around what this new shopping journey is.
Yeah.
And I realize while I think AI is cool and many people do think it's cool, people really don't care about that. They care that they came in there to get whatever they came in to get and they want to get it and they want to get out. But they do understand time. And so we're spending a lot of effort showing you how you're wasting a lot of time doing
love
things
that.
the old way. So we're educating on time now.
That's okay. So that's also just like for anyone who's a small business owner, this is kind of the thing that you got to figure out. Like, what is the pain point that people have that you can solve? Because in your mind, you're like, I'm giving you groceries. You ain't never had groceries over
In
here.
the most innovative way. And they don't
Yeah, you think like I'm solving the fact that you don't have groceries. I live in a food desert. If it came to my neighborhood, I already know. I already know the people that would not touch the space because the government watching us, or just I don't want to learn. I don't want to learn how to do this. And actually, it's not the grocery store that's the pain point. It's not the access to the food. It's the accessibility to this new feature.
because they don't want to embrace. But this is our problem from a cultural perspective is by the time we catch on, it's too late.
It's too late. We
Because
behind.
I don't want this store to just be, oh, I'm coming here to get my groceries. I want this store to be here. Wow, this is so cool. It's cut my time in half. Now I got what I need. But if this technology can do this, what else can it do?
Mm.
And so that's what I want it to be a catalyst for how do we continue to create and innovate in this space. This is like, the entry point where you still have the ability to create anything. The ideas are endless. And now you have the power of technology behind you in a way we never had before. And so that's what I want. But the first thing, like our first reaction is, I don't want any parts of it. And that is going to close us to opportunity.
Yeah. Dang, that's deep. That's deep. Okay. I'm gonna move to your son.
Yeah.
Because when I first asked you why you did this, I thought you was gonna talk about food deserts. And I was like, you're gonna solve my problem. That's why
Right.
you did this. But no, actually tell me the real reason behind Nourish and Bloom.
Yeah. So Nourish and Bloom came because of, as I told you before, my pain points, but from my son. So my son has autism. One of the biggest things you can do with a child with autism is make sure that they eat well, right? So that's when you start turning over labels and realizing what's really in things and how it affects them differently. So you can have peanut butter and be fine. He can have peanut butter and, he can have an allergic reaction, right? Like, so we see everyone has different abilities to tolerate certain things. We just talked about dairy. So in that, we knew that we had to be able to always have access to good food and couldn't find it. And so during the pandemic, especially right before it happened, we were just like, oh my gosh, like, where are we going to feed our child? Like, we moved into this new area. There was nothing there. It was a food desert. And I was like, well, let's bring something here that he can actually find nourishment from. And then maybe we can also support the community. And then it is also a food desert. It just trickled from there. But I always say he's our inspiration for everything. So we got into the food space many years ago to help him because we couldn't find healthy meals just in general. We weren't thinking about a grocery store. We were just thinking like, where do I find healthy food? And we didn't have time to cook, but it was our son. And so when we started looking, we couldn't find anything, so we started to create healthy meals for kids, and that's how we got into the food space. We were making meatless meals that were frozen and ready to go, before Beyond, before Impossible, before all of that. So we're always ahead of the game, and we always have to educate. So it's like I constantly put myself in this situation, but it's okay.
Okay.
I mean, all jokes aside, like I feel like he's always the catalyst for innovation. He's always the catalyst to help serve, and so in that with this market, it was like, how do we feed him? And then it was how do we feed others? And now it's how do we feed the world?
Yeah. And so I also I feel like I see just a lot of information now on children with autism, and I'm like, is this a new? I know you're not the expert on this, but I find that when you are closer to it, you know a lot more.
Right.
Is it is was autism just not diagnosed before, or is there just more children with autism? I feel like there's just more conversation about it.
I mean, that's a whole story in itself. But yeah, there is more children with autism. So it is being diagnosed more, but there is a direct correlation through the increase of autism and a lot of the things that, kids are being exposed to. So it's like almost linear in the increase. So it used to be when my son was born 1 in 80. Now we're at 1 in 20.
Wow.
Wow, it's a real serious epidemic that no one's talking about. And the reality is like it's not like there's now a lot of services. When I first started, I had to fight and fight and fight to get him everything that he got from therapies and all the different things. But now there are a lot of services. But when they turn 18, it all stops.
Yeah.
And so it's like, what happens after that, right? So, I mean, I can go into what my theory is. I believe I know how my son um, got exposed to being autistic, but that's a whole another level of controversy that I could talk about forever. But the reality is that it is an epidemic. It's one that no one's talking about, and I didn't know anybody growing up that had autism. Did you know anybody?
I just learned the word like 15 years ago.
All right, I didn't know anybody, and now everybody knows somebody,
Yeah. Right.
and more than just somebody. They know a few.
Yeah. I feel like so I read this Reddit thread. Well, listen, I'm gonna get into it. I love Reddit. That's my escape at night.
Okay,
I'm like, let me dive into other people's just crazy.
exactly.
And I read a thread
Totally
called
mine though.
Regretful Parents. Now, I just think it's kind of funny. It's not funny, but it is like shocking. It is, because I feel like I'm always been like on the fence about kids. I'm like, I don't know, because the reality is, having been a teacher, you don't choose the kind of child you have. And whatever happens, you have to love and accept and be with this child. And if I don't feel like I'm in a position mentally, emotionally to take whatever comes my way, then it's not a good fit. And I think some people want kids and then expect like, I have this vision of my child and this is what's going to happen. But having been a teacher, that's not what happens. That is not what happens. You can have 5 kids and one of them just be a straight up knucklehead, and
Absolutely.
you done everything right from a parent. All the other 4 ones are great, and I know because I always got the knucklehead in my class. I would look at their siblings and be like,
What happened to you?
what's wrong with this one?"
Well, listen, I have a story for that too because I always was planning. I was a planner before I had kids. I was a planner. This is how it's going to be. This is how I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
So I was going to have all my kids by the time I was 30 because I didn't want to be an old parent because my mother had me at 38. And anytime I wanted to do stuff, we're not like these young parents. I said, I'm going to fix this problem. I'm going to have all my kids by the time I'm 30. They're going to be out the house by the time I'm 50. I'm going to still be able to get sexy back and do my thing.
Whole timeline.
And then I get my first son has autism. Right? And any parent who has a child with autism, and I'm really fortunate that he's not severely autistic, like he's in a neurotypical class. Like we've done a lot of work. It was a lot of work. Um, but I have to make sure that he's taken care of way after I'm no longer here, right? I have to make sure that he's provided for until he takes his last breath. Like, what does that look like from a financial plan? Like, how do you plan that? What job is going to not only provide for you, but provide for your child until they no longer are on this earth, right? Like, that's a whole
That's deep.
different perspective. And you talked about sensitivity before. Autistic children are sensitive, right? And so the thing is, they're extremely bright, but they're extremely sensitive. So you might be able to eat milk and be okay. They won't. And so it's extreme sensitivity is really what autism is, and it can show up in so many different ways.
Yeah.
But you're right, you don't know. And with the way our industry is and the world is and the requirements on vaccine schedules, and I won't get into it, but pay attention to that because I'm telling you there's a direct correlation of the number of vaccines children get today and the risk of autism.
Wow.
It's completely linear.
Wow.
So, like, we got, like, 16 shots or 18 shots when we were growing up. They get 80
What?
combined together.
80?
So it's like they'll give you a
For
combo
what?
for all kinds of things. So
Really?
like, like MMR, mumps, measles, rubella. Will you ever have the mumps, measles, and rubella?
Yeah, I thought that was gone. I don't know
No,
what
it's
you have
still
to do.
there.
Oh.
So I mean, imagine you giving that to a child all at once,
Oh,
right? Like, so if you're already a child that's sensitive,
yeah.
you might be stronger. Your immune system might be able to
Mm.
tolerate that. Like, it can change their whole trajectory for the rest of their life.
Wow.
So I've done a lot of research on it, but there is a correlation. That's my PSA. Just read. Don't listen to what people say. Don't listen to what, white coats say. You have to read, because when you have an issue, it's you who has the issue.
Yeah.
There's no one coming to help.
Nobody's saving you.
There's nobody saving you. And when it's your child, your whole goal is to how do you protect your child?
Okay, here's a silver lining that no one's picking up on. Read.
Read.
This is the second time we didn't talk about reading,
Right.
and we're not doing it.
At all.
Read. Reading is fundamental.
Yeah. Not what they say. Read for
Read.
yourself.
Okay, that's helpful. Honestly, I need to tap in and do that. Yeah. Wow, thank you for sharing that. I love to learn. Also, it's helpful to learn from someone because we can read, but like I also want to know your lived experience, right?
Absolutely.
Because then makes it more tangible. It makes it more human than just like, oh, there's these symptoms. It's like, man, I need to empathize with this group, especially when you see like police brutality or whatever is, this
Yeah.
person has autism and they should have been in this facility. And I'm like, does everybody have autism? Like, what is this?
Right. And then when you listen to folks, like, you can learn so much from just listening to people,
Yes.
but don't just listen to me. Then do your research. That's where the
Yeah.
thing comes in on any topic, because you'll learn a lot and you'll be surprised by a lot of things that they push at you, that you'll start to read and say, well, that's completely opposite from what I see.
Yeah. That part.
So
That part. Okay. So, um, let's talk about investing because you are crowdfunding right now.
I am.
And Isaac and I were talking about the statistics on investors. And so, sorry, rather, people who go to investors, who typically gets the money. And we looked it up, and surprise, surprise, the statistics were like 95 to 98% go to white males, and then the rest go to everyone else. And the numbers were so low, it doesn't even matter if it was black, Asian, Hispanic, female. It didn't even matter. Everything else was so minuscule. It was like, it doesn't even matter to break up the smaller groups. So the question is, there are statistics out there, but then there's like your lived experience. Are you feeling that lived experience of the other 3% being so marginal? Do you experience that when you're crowdfunding for investors?
When I'm crowdfunding,
I guess that's not I guess crowdfunding
I
and
mean,
getting investments are two different things.
right. So I mean, an investment, absolutely.
Okay, crowdfunding people are supportive, but
Investing 1000%. Like, you hear those stories about, I have this idea, and we were at dinner and I was writing it on a napkin, and he's like, I'll just give you $1 million to go test it out. Like, you hear these stories, right? But it doesn't apply to us. So that's definitely a big piece. But I'll always say that, for us, we have to overprove, right? Before someone even is thinking about investing. But the problem with overproving is, how do you get to the point that you can overprove if you don't have that capital? So, I think it was Mark Cuban the other day that was like, oh, somebody was asking him about raising capital. I don't know if you saw that piece, and he was just like, oh, you just need to bootstrap it. And I'm like, did you bootstrap it? You know what I mean? Like, hello, like, telling us that, you shouldn't go that approach, and you just need to figure out how to build it on your own. And I'm not saying that you don't need to put your own capital in. You do, but any business or anyone who has a business knows that capital is necessary to grow. And so, how do you get to that growth? How do you get to these markers that they want you to have if you're not getting access to that capital? And at the pre-seed level, especially now, it's so difficult to get those dollars. I mean, I remember when we first started to fundraise for Nourish and Bloom, they're like, well, let's see if you can get the first store open. I'm like, okay. All right. So,
Oh, all right.
all right, we'll do that. We're just building the grocery store of the future. Hasn't been done before in the way that we're doing it, but okay. So we do that. And so I'm like, okay, we did it. We showed everybody we were able to get this store open. The money's going to start to flow. Oh, well, we knew you could do the first store. Let's see if you can do the second story. You're like, okay, so like,
Can't do this.
so it's like, for us, we have to over innovate, over prove, and the needle keeps moving. It's never like, okay, you hit that marker where I feel for the 98%, they can have an idea on a napkin and somebody will fund that for, drawing cat pictures for you. You know what I mean? Like cat pictures. Did you ever see that? Cause he got invested and he was like drawing cats on the wall. I was like, all right.
Yeah, it's frustrating. It's frustrating. No, I think, so I totally, I would say like a year ago, I couldn't relate, right? Because I was working at Microsoft, but now I have my own business. And now that I'm back on social media, everybody, whoo, social media is nothing but, and I was off for 5 years. So I wasn't inundated with any of it. But now that I'm back on social media, all I see is this like microwave mentality. Like, oh, all you have to do is just this thing, and then it just kind of happens. Like, what? What in what world? What happened over the past 5 years that people are now selling this idea of like, I've heard this story too. Don't take investor money because then they'll take all your ownership and they'll take all. Everybody doesn't have that luxury to do that. Like sometimes you need other people's money, and it just is what it is. So everybody's journey is unique. I think I kind of hate the polarity of don't do it this way, only do it this way. It's like just share your story,
Right.
and then let this person share their story, and let this person, but now we're in this space where everybody's like, if you want to scale your business, do it this way. Everybody's selling something, and it's kind of, um, it's not helpful.
This is like the question I think that everyone always has. What's in it for them? When someone's telling you to do something, what do they gain from what they're telling you?
Mhm.
Because when you start to just ask that question, it'll help to guide you, right? I think, to say, I get that because we're so afraid that once we finally build something, you don't want to be able to know someone can take it away. And that's why they say you try to do it on your
Yeah.
own. However, it is hard unless you have access to that capital to be able to do it on your own. So you're going to have to find the right investors. And I think a lot of times we're so tied to just getting the money that you'll just take money from anyone. And that's where the demise
Yeah.
can happen.
Yeah.
Right. And also not understanding your value. Like the business doesn't exist if you don't exist.
Right.
Right. But we see, oh, you made money in whatever, anything else that has nothing to do with what you're doing, but they have money. And so if they say, hop on one leg, you hopping on one leg when you need two legs to walk. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? There's a better way to walk than just hopping. You know what I mean? You can get there a different way. And so I think understanding your value is important, understanding when it's the right time to get capital, and that there are ways to get capital that doesn't have to be that big, conglomerate that can help you grow so that when you get there, you can stay with those conglomerates and really have, sustainability. But,
Yeah.
you got to do what's right for you.
Yeah. Think that's the message, y'all. Do what's right for you. You don't have to do it this one way that Instagram or TikTok says. Do what's right for you. So do some soul searching. You mentioned Mark Cuban, so now we got to get into it. You were on Shark Tank.
I was.
When was this, and how was that?
So I was on Shark Tank last year. Yeah, so a little bit over a year ago. And it was a dream for me that finally manifested. So when I first started my food business, we were auditioning for Shark Tank. Like we thought that was our way because we needed capital then too. And we slept outside for 3 different cities and the whole bit. And finally they said, okay, we're going to move you to the next round. At the same time, we were courting this investor that had all this money, and he was like, why are you going to go on this show? And they're going to take your idea, and our company can give you everything that you need, and we're going to give you more funding than they're ever going to give. And I told Shark Tank no. And so, anyway, he turned out to be a fraud. Needless to say, we move on. I wrote a whole book about it, The Untold Truth About Building a Startup, Understanding Your Value. But the reality is that I couldn't watch the show anymore after that. Like, it was a whole thing.
Oh my God.
So we were at the top of where we were really starting to grow, but because we didn't have the proper capital, we ended up having to close prematurely. But I couldn't watch the show anymore. I was like,
I know that's right.
and my mother was like in love with the show. I was watching Shark Tank the other day. I was like, I don't want to hear about it. Don't say ST. Don't say anything. So fast forward almost 10 years later, and they call me. And so they're like, I'm interested to know more about, and I thought that was a joke. I was like, this can't
10 years later.
about Nourish and Bloom. I'm like, what? I don't even think it's a Shark Tank business. I was like, okay. And so I started talking to them, and it was like, we love this idea, and it started to like snowball. And next thing you know, we're on the show, right? And so, sometimes like a dream deferred. So in that part was amazing. I had amazing producers. The actual sharks did not understand what we were doing.
What is not clear?
I'm like, we're sitting here and we have found an innovative way to eradicate food deserts. I'm like,
Did they know what a food desert was?
no. I thought Barbara potentially could relate because she supposedly came from meager beginnings, but she couldn't get it. Like, I don't know whether she was drunk or what, but it was interesting. It was like,
Not drunk.
sorry, did I say that? um, but no, it was like I had to keep explaining it. So Shark Tank, you see about 6 minutes of like an hour-long conversation,
Oh.
and they cut it up to make sure that it's entertaining, right? It's reality TV, my favorite pastime. So I get it. However, I was in shock. Jamie was in shock, my co-founder and husband, um, that they didn't understand how this was innovative. Like they tried to push us, which is something they always do, to this should be a government based. This is a social. This is like it should be a nonprofit. I was like, what? I said Kroger is not a nonprofit. Publix is not a nonprofit. Why would we? Because we're using AI to ensure that we can eradicate food deserts. Why would that be a non? Why should that be a nonprofit?
Right. It's see, here we go, educating people again.
Educating. So they couldn't get the concept. They were like, oh, so you talk about money again. So they were like, well, how much money have you raised? And we told them, and we had to get an SBA loan. So our friends and family helped us when we first started to fund Nourish and Bloom. Like they believed in our idea when nobody else did, and they helped us, right? And if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be here today. But that wasn't enough. So we were able to get an SBA loan, which is a whole nother discussion, but we were able to get that loan, right? To help us bridge the gap. So they're like, "Oh my gosh, you have all this debt." Well, what would you expect us to do? Did I have like, a silver spoon in my mouth? No. So then they were like, "Oh, and are you profitable yet?" What tech company is profitable in like 12 months?
Man, this is exhausting.
I mean, so it's like the objections that they were giving, they weren't seeing the fact that we had earned revenue at that point. That there's a huge need that we haven't even tapped into. 53.6 million people live in a food desert. Big box stores aren't going.
Right.
They are hungry.
They're not.
The thing is that people think food deserts are places where people don't have resources. They have resources, whether they're their jobs, whether they're getting government assistance. It doesn't matter. It's still capital. They still have a need. They're still buying food. They're just leaving their communities to do it. They couldn't see it. They're like, and so, make a long story short, we didn't get the deal. It's okay. We got a lot of people from all over the country that were like, we need this here. And so that's what we've been working on is now we're going to be franchising Nourish and Bloom so that folks will be able to have good food in their food desert, and there will no longer be a food desert.
I love that. Okay, well, franchise. How much time do I got? 5 minutes. All right. So it's 7 minutes to go. Thank you. Cutting me off. Fine. I have a question, and then we're gonna play a game called This or That. It's an activity.
Okay.
We played a game. I didn't know the games. What's the games? I was like, I have a better activity. So I recently went on a rant about male-run businesses and how men just a lot of times are scaring women away and thus scaring dollars away because of just general sexual harassment, just general like they can't figure it out. It's like get it together, tighten up. So I'm curious. You and your husband run this business. Are there places where y'all go where you're like, ooh, it'd be better if you went, or it'd be better if I went, or it's better if we both go? Do y'all play that game of who would be the best person to walk into spaces, or does it matter?
Yeah, we talk about it. It's a real conversation. The thing is, his strengths are my weaknesses, and my strengths are his weaknesses.
Okay.
So he is really good at catching things I don't. So we find that when we are together, we do best. But there are environments where I say you need to take the lead because I feel like they'll be more, receptive to you and vice versa. But it's a real situation.
Yeah, but it's not gender based. It's just like who's gonna speak up.
Sometimes it's gender based
Mhm.
because like they're gonna respond differently.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like the banker. Look, at the end of the day, we got a goal.
Yeah.
So
Put
whoever
your ego aside.
put your ego aside, whoever's going to help to make the goal happen.
Wow. I know that's right. Okay. So now we're going to play a game, an activity called This or That.
Okay.
I'm going to give you two groups of people, and you're going to have about 30 seconds to look directly into your camera and give them the best unsolicited advice they didn't ask for, but they need.
Okay.
All right. So the first group is either founders or investors. Who would you like to give unsolicited advice to? You can get some stuff off your chest right now if you really wanted to.
I mean, I care more about the founder. So
That's fair. That's fair.
I'm going to give you advice. I think the biggest set of advice I could give founders is understand your worth. I think for so many of us, like we lose our worth because we think somebody has some additional value, whether it be a coach, whether it be an investor, whether it be anybody. Hold on to what made you do what you do, because that is what makes it special. They're going to see so many people who tell you no. And I know that sounds cliche, but the reality is you got to really like stick to your guns about what you know about why you started whatever you start.
I know that's right. Okay. Broke people or rich people?
Broke people.
Okay.
Oh yes, I love broke people. Let me tell you about broke people. Okay, look, everything rich people do, you need to do. Broke people, especially when you think about things like prenups, broke people need prenups. If you got $10, you really cannot afford to give somebody five. Right? Like you really have to negotiate your $10, right? And so I feel like we always think when you have nothing that you don't have value, that's when you really need to hold on to your value. So I believe broke people need new cars. You can't afford to do used cars because when the car breaks down, then you don't have a car. Like rich people can have like a used car, an old car. You need a car that is reliable every day. I have so many things for broke people. I'm like, let me tell you,
She's popping off.
Keep going.
Let's go, broke people.
Well, listen, I'm just trying to help you maximize on your resources.
Okay. So there's another episode for broke people. That's a whole nother podcast spinoff she's about to do. Okay.
That one.
The next one is teens or parents of teens. Because how old is your child? They're not a teenager yet.
No, they're all teenagers. I have 14, 15. I have 14, 16, and about to be 18.
Oh, Lord.
Parents of teens.
Okay.
I feel like our old school parenting does not work today. Like you need to be able to meet your children at their level. You need to be able to talk to them at their level, learn their lingo, let them be free to tell you who they are, because at this point, that's the only way you're going to be able to give them guidance in a way that they'll be receptive to, right? Like my kids talk to me like I am their friend. And their friends are like, you could talk to your parents that way? I said, absolutely. I want to hear everything. I want to hear all the trash. I want to hear all the words. I
want to know the tea.
Like, I got to know everything. I mean, I'm ready to clock.
Oh, that's you're ready to go.
Clock. Go ahead. Okay. So I think that's important because I feel, especially now, they have access to so much more information than we've ever had. And if you are sitting here with like the old thinking or all of that, you're going to be missing it. And it doesn't mean they're not doing it. They're just not telling you. And I'd rather be able to guide you through whatever experience you want to have and make sure you do it safely. But you know that you can come and tell me anything. So that's my advice.
I love
And make sure they don't go to college. Okay, sorry.
Oh,
sorry.
Uh-oh.
That one.
All right. Well, and that's time, everybody.
Time.
So before we go, I want to make sure you have the mic because you are crowdfunding right now. I want you to tell the world, everybody, what you need them to do today.
So what I need you to do today, if you live in a food desert, tell us about it because we want to be able to make sure that we can get to you. But if you have the ability and have some disposable income, we want you to be able to invest in the grocery store of the future. When Kroger and Publix and all those stores came around, you were not able to invest in them, right? Because you had to be an accredited investor. But now, through the Jobs Act, you can. And so we have a We Funder campaign where just for $100, you can invest in the growth of where we're going. Everyone who invested in us already has already 4x their money. This is going to be $1 billion company because there is a need. Everybody's going to always have to eat no matter what happens in the world. That's the one thing you have to do every day to have substance. So we encourage you to invest in our We Funder campaign, Nourish Bloom Market, and we're ready to go to the moon.
I love that. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you like what you heard today, first of all, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, subscribe to my Fanbase channel, and also follow Jilea Hemmings, who is also, Nourish Bloom Market is also on Fanbase.
That's true. We are.
And so they're going to be starting a podcast. I don't know if I was supposed to say that.
We are.
Okay.
We are.
So when it comes, I'm going to be on it.
Yes, she is. So we're going to play some tough games.
I hope there's a prize. Okay. Thank y'all so much for joining us, and see you next time. Peace.